What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly War Thunder, and man, have I been busy. I decided to get some gold. I broke down and decided to buy some gold, and mainly because I wanted to get premium for a week just to earn myself some credits and boost my experience earning and all that. And I use a lot of the gold to further along the research of all the tanks and planes that I've been playing around with. So, what you're looking at right here is the SU-122. Out of everything that I acquired over the past couple days, this thing has got to be my most favorite thing to drive right now. Self-propelled gun armed with a 122 millimeter howitzer. It was built, or it was conceived, built, and fielded in the same year, 1942. It was basically the role destined for this tank was to accompany other Soviet tanks, provide escort for them, and essentially perform a support role. With that 122 millimeter howitzer, it's an absolute monster on the battlefield. It does have a lot of flaws, though. It only carries 40 rounds, which throughout the course of battle, you'll be lucky if you actually do expend 40 rounds, because it has a blisteringly slow reload rate. This thing, actually, we can pull up its specs. Reloading rate, 23.4 seconds it takes to reload your shot, so you better not miss. It is a fun tank to drive, though. That 122 millimeter howitzer, just ridiculously powerful. I've one-shotted Panzer IVs with this thing. We're using high explosive. It's a blast. But let's go ahead and skip all the fluff and all the story and get right down to some gameplay. So the SU-22, she's a real fun tank. Just the massive blast from its high explosive round is just enough to get you addicted playing this tank as it is. Its story is pretty cool. It's based on the T-34 chassis, as you can probably tell from looking at it from the rear here. As I was saying, it was created during 1942, I believe. I'm not sure really what else to say about the thing. It was a really good tank destroyer. There was reports that at close range, the blast from its howitzer would be enough to blow the turret off of Tigers. So it was an extremely powerful little tank. You see, I'm rounding this corner here, just trying to hunt for enemies at this point in the match, making good use of cover here with this ruined building. And here we've spotted a Panzer III moving in between the buildings, so we do know that the enemy is moving over into this direction here. So at this point, I'm just trying not to be too aggressive. I am a tank destroyer after all, not a battle tank, so I don't want to just dive straight on into the enemy. And with a reload time such as this, I can't afford to get myself into a situation that I will regret. On the ridge, we caught eyes on someone. Oh yes, please sit still. Boom. Loader, gunner, machine gunner did damage to set 2, I think maybe 3 modules on that Panzer III up there. That guy is in for a world of hurt, but you can see just how long this reload time is. Will I have enough time to get off another shot on this guy? Doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Fell short. You can see the massive blast that comes up off the ground from this thing. As you can see, there's another ZIS up there somewhere. So at this point, not a whole lot to say. Just trying to keep pace with my allies. I can see that they've pushed up now. We've managed to secure A. I gotta get up here to back them up. I'm no use sitting in the rear. Here we got a KV-1 directly in front of me. Will it be enough? Oh, critical hit. Machine gunner's been damaged, or machine gunner's been killed, I think, straight outright. KV-1 suffered some pretty good damage there from that massive blast from that 122mm howitzer. So basically, some stats about this tank. It had 45mm frontal armor. Angling that at whatever angle that is provided some pretty decent frontal slope to it, but again, it's not a frontline battle tank. You can't take this thing up head-to-head against other vehicles. So if we got eyes on a ZIS over there, falling short. He's now swiveled his gun to face me. I need to start thinking about getting out of here. Ooh, round coming in. The commander's been wounded. Gun barrel's been damaged. I took a fortunate hit there. ZIS, you know, it's nothing compared to the Su-22, but it can still do damage to me. So, as I'm sitting here repairing my barrel here, just got to keep my head on a swivel, keep looking for any enemies trying to sneak around behind me. And here's that KV-1 again. Let's see if we can get up here and finish him off. At point-blank range like this, it's a guaranteed kill, more or less. Oh yes, directly in the machine gun port, knocking out several more crew members and modules. That KV-1 is now toast. First kill of the game for me. And unfortunately, this is pretty much the best replay that I could pull from today to show you the traits and aspects behind the Su-122. I played several games in it. I was having a really hard time actually getting connection to games today. I'm not sure if it was the server or my internet, but nevertheless, this was more or less the best game I had. There was most games I played in the Su-122 today, I would just fire a shot and immediately get taken out by something. So trying to keep eyes on enemies up here. Not a whole lot of action. I keep waiting for something to happen here, but nothing really picks up. It's just a whole lot of spotting the enemy, making sure I'm in a safe place to open fire and with a quick route of escape, and can't stay exposed for too long, because if you can spot the enemy can spot you. And that T-28's been obliterated there. Time to back up and get out of there, because now the enemy knows that I'm here, and they will be converging on this location, almost guaranteed. So apart from the high explosive shell that this vehicle fires, after a while they did manage to build a high explosive anti-tank round designated the BP-460A. It was introduced in May of 1943. However, the warhead for the time period was you could say primitive. You could say, it was inferior to more modern ammunition used by the Germans and other nations. It was slightly more effective against heavy German armor, but really there was not a whole lot of difference in performance between that and the high explosive round. So against a lot of the German heavy armor that was starting to be fielded against Russian tanks. Oh dear, and here we've just run smack dab into the enemy. T-28 point blank shot straight into him. Unfortunately, that wasn't a guaranteed kill as I hoped it would be. And this pretty much will spell the doom for me. I'm looking behind me now. I'm noticing there's enemies behind me. There's enemies in front of me. Somehow I've managed to completely drive straight into the enemy's formations. And at least I can hopefully get off one more shot before I'm taken out here. And I set somebody on fire. But fortunately, a point blank shot there, taking out myself and the Su-122. Also along the Soviet lines, I've unlocked 2 aircraft, which I'm really thankful for. I was getting really sick and tired of playing as the starter Russian biplanes, whereas they do pack a good punch. Those starter biplanes they're so damn slow. But there's this thing, the I-16. I gave him some cute little eyes, and it's a fun little aircraft to fly around. We'll get into some gameplay footage here in a minute showing you that. But the Yak 1, this is what I was really looking forward to getting into and flying around because I've been shot down by Yaks. I don't know how many freaking times. This thing has a 20 millimeter cannon on it, as well as its machine guns. And forgive me, I know next to nothing about aircraft, so I do not know where the 20 millimeter is mounted. Is that it in the nose? I don't know. But we got the two machine guns up top, and there's a 20 millimeter something. Maybe that's it on the side there. I don't know. But either way, the Yak and the I-16, very fun aircraft. Let's take a look at some gameplay footage of them. So here we are in the I-16 on a single airfield capture mission. And this is a fun little aircraft. Look how nimble this thing is. It turns and it rolls almost like a Japanese plane. It's amazing. The I-16 was a pretty revolutionary aircraft. It was the first low-wing monoplane fighter with retractable landing gear to be fielded by the Soviets. It was introduced in the mid-1930s and it formed the backbone of the Soviet Air Force at the beginning of the Second World War. So, yeah, pretty popular fighter in its day, and it's pretty fun to play in War Thunder. It doesn't climb very quickly. I'm not sure the technical term for it, but it rolls very fast, but that's really all it does exceptionally. It's pretty standard Russian aircraft by all their standards. It's not super fast, does good in a straight line, doesn't turn exceptionally quick. But it is fun to play. It's just a flying barrel. As I dive on this Yak-1 here, I'm slowly starting to learn which aircraft to go up against in particular other types of aircraft. Trying to learn each one's strengths and cons here. As I'm trying to keep up with this Yak-1. He's doing some pretty decent evasive firing here, but I've got to be careful because it looks like I have another teammate. Yep, I have another teammate on his tail as well. So I don't want to do damage to my teammate, and I want to avoid my teammates doing damage to me. But picking up an assist, that Yak manages to crash on the runway. Coming back around now for a pass on another Yak, it looks like, or maybe that I-16, my same type of aircraft that I'm in now. Taking some tracer fire, just trying to stay evasive. Scoring some hits on that Yak, and I gotta stay evasive here. Whoa, Jesus, almost knocked out of the sky by somebody there. Checking my 6, looks like I'm all clear, so I'm gonna swing back around, cut the throttle, and then come back in, give it some more juice as I complete the turn there. That's really the only way I've found to perform a pretty solid turn in this thing. Opening up on a fellow I-16 on the runway as he attempts to cap the airfield, picking up a kill, and I make it look easy, but really, my God, this was actually a pretty decent game in this thing now. So I'm trying to turn around now and come back around to evade fire, but here you can see this thing is not great pulling G's. So let's switch over to the Yak now. The Yak, being another revolutionary aircraft of World War II, was produced from early 1940. It was a single-seat monoplane with a composite structure and wooden wings. It was extremely maneuverable for a Russian aircraft. It was very fast and it was very well armed. And, you know, just as importantly, as is common with most Soviet military equipment, it needed to be easy to maintain. And this aircraft in particular spawned an entire generation of Yak airplanes of differing designs and variations throughout the years. So this plane was designed to be pretty much an attack aircraft. It did well at low altitudes, 4,000 meters or lower. It had a significant turning advantage over its competitors during the war, the German aircraft at the time. The only major problem with it was some flaws in its manufacture and construction. Vibrations would cause fuel leaks and other things of that nature, warping and rotting of the wooden construction as well. So other than that, it was a pretty amazing aircraft. The 20 millimeter cannon able to just completely shred planes, as you see right there. So yeah, at the start of the war, most of these planes were destroyed on the runways before they even really had a chance to get up and fight. At the time of the outbreak of the war against Soviet Union, from Germany, there was only 92 of these things fully operational at the time. The other, like 300 and so, were still disassembled, awaiting production. So yeah. So the commentary now, I was thinking about going up there and engaging that bomber, but he was completely covered by my teammates here. So time for me to swoop down low, engage some of these guys down here with my teammates, help them out. Just spraying the area, trying to score a hit, and looks like I got one. I like doing that diving tactic and giving a good bit of lead room. Even if I don't hit, just the bullets dropping down in front of an enemy plane would hopefully be enough to discourage the pilot from chasing after my teammate. Bringing it back around here, I know the plane is described as being very maneuverable, but it is War Thunder, and you don't necessarily go up against the aircraft that these planes went up against historically, but its maneuverability is enough for me. I'm very comfortable flying this thing. It just it feels right, you know. I get the controls to respond the way I want it to most of the time. As you can see, my aiming though is not exactly that great, but I still managed to pick up a kill there, knocking that guy in a lag 3, knocking him out of the sky and celebrating with a few little tips of the wings there. So I'm looking around, just trying to gauge what's going on, making sure the airfield's secure, seeing if anyone needs help, seeing where I could be needed best, because I do have a very powerful but very more or less slow compared to some of these other aircraft. So I picked up an F2A1 here. Put some shots into him. He's flying very low to the ground there. I'm hoping if I do enough damage to him, I can just get him to crash. So looping back around, looks like he's going for a cap at A. I need to take this guy out before he picks up. Oh, I'm taking damage to both my wings now. Gotta pick up that kill on that Buffalo. Oh dear Lord, I got clipped. That's what I'm talking about. You really got to watch out for your teammates. Smartly, I broke off there. I really was fighting the urge to bring that plane back down. But, oh dear God, here you can see the damage to the wing and plus the maneuverability of that aircraft just working against me. Plowing straight into the ground. So, that's some gameplay footage from my new Soviet aircraft. Another tank that I've unlocked recently, that I believe I may have featured this on a previous episode of Weekly War Thunder, and if not, then apologies go out to the Panzer IV F2. I've been waiting to play as this tank for a while. I had a lot of fun playing this in World of Tanks, but of course this is War Thunder. It's a completely different beast. The Panzer IV F2 was the improved version of the F1. This was really one of the first German tanks that could go toe-to-toe with the KV and the T-34 lines that the Russians were putting out. It could go toe-to-toe with them because it sported a new 75mm anti-tank gun with a 45 caliber barrel, 45mm caliber barrel, giving the armor-piercing rounds coming out of this thing incredible velocity, able to punch through that nice thick Soviet armor. So around summer of 1942, these things hit the battlefield with 175 of them rolling out from the factory floors. Another 25 were converted from the now obsolete Panzer IV F1. So these tanks took part in the North Africa campaign, the Eastern Front campaign. A lot of them were captured by the Red Army. Yeah, this tank was pretty much superior more superior than anything that the Americans or the British at this particular point in the war were fielding. So, very impressive tank. All this information pulled directly from the information tab you can find when you scroll over your tanks. So, without further ado, let's take a look at some gameplay on this beast. And man, what a beast it is, as you're going to see during this replay, as soon as I get myself out of this hole. Man, that's embarrassing. So across this little dip through the trenches up there, I can see the whole enemy team just milling about. And if there was any time to try and get a first strike medal, this would be it. And also, if there's any doubt that this thing will be able to take out T-34s, well, let's just put that issue to bed. moving target from God only knows how far away that was, and this tank just one-shotted a T-34 through the turret. Amazing shot. Amazing shot. So, a few weeks before Operation Barbarossa kicked off, which was the Germans' invasion of Russia, they held a conference with Hitler, and they managed to convince him that they needed to upgun the Panzer IVs. The contract was given to the company Krupp, which at the same time was in another contract to develop and modify Rheinmetall's 75mm anti-tank gun. Within months of the Germans encountering the Soviet T-34, the KV-1, they realized that their tanks did not have sufficient armaments to deal with these vehicles. So, because the recoil length was too great for the tank's turret, and the recoil mechanism in the chamber was shortened on the 50mm that was already on the Panzer IV F2. This resulted in the 75mm KWK-40, which you see armed on this tank right now, giving it a muzzle velocity from 430 meters per second up to 990 meters per second. The muzzle velocity on this cannon was ridiculous. So the tanks received the new gun. It was temporarily named the F2. The tank increased in weight from 23 tons to 26 tons. And just a few months after that, it was renamed the Panzer IV G. So the tank that was developed to kill T-34s and KV-1s is about to put its reputation on the line here, as I am parked smack dab in the middle of the map. As you can see, the point to A is being capped by my team right now down in the southern region of the map. Getting bored of sitting in that stationary position, so I decided to move up here, see if I can get some eyes on the enemy, and I am not to be disappointed as I advance into what is usually the pretty much hotbed of activity on this map. The whole damn board lights up with enemies here. We got our first target spotted over there just as he went up in a ball of smoke. Not sure what took him out. But we have a nice clear silhouette of this Panzer 38. First shot going in, taking out the loader and gunner, tracking him in place. He's not going anywhere. Second shot, goodbye. Through the turret, you're done. Shadow strike metal picked up. Second target engaged now, another Panzer IV F2. Boom, goodbye. Loader, commander, driver, all seriously wounded. I believe the loader was killed. Looks like he's trying to hightail it out of there, but nope, sorry sir. Ammo wrecked. Amazing kill picked up there. Over here we got a KV-1 looking my way. That's alright, I'll just one-shot him. Fucking nuts. Panzer III with that, oh, doesn't matter. It has spaced armor on its hull, and just like a hot knife through butter, just straight through both layers of armor. Over here we can catch eyes on a, what's that, a Panzer III F? Yeah, Panzer III F moving down in that ravine. Oh, alright, somebody took him out. In an absolutely devastating position right here. I have a clear field of fire against most of the enemy team. Looks like we got a Su-76. Goodbye. Just, oh my god, 6 kills streak. There's kill streak of 6 going on right now. And we got a ZIS and another Panzer IV over there. Those guys are capable of one-shotting me as well. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we can do this right through this little gap here. And I punched that Panzer IV right in the eyeball. That's essentially what I did right there. Second shot going in, killing the loader and the gunner. The commander's been seriously wounded. Horizontal turret drive's been damaged. That Panzer IV is breaking off, pulling back. He needs to repair. Trying to back up the hill here to get some angle on something. The ZIS got taken out, and there we go. That Panzer IV spotted again. Gotta get a shot on him. Yep, managed to hit the hull. Come on, reload. Oh. And these damn airplanes, man, they're such buzzkills. We just got to look at the post-game stats on this one. 6 kills picked up. I wonder how many of them were AI. 2 assists, 24 hits. With my premium in, got a good bit of silver picked up off that one. All the one-shots, all the shadow strikes, my god. Unlocked an emblem there, it looks like. And some new ammo for the Panzer IV F2, that's cool. Got my first strike medal. My well-deserved first strike medal for that. And let's just see how many... Yeah, okay, they were all players. Alright. Good to go. I've been dying to show you guys the interior cockpit as you're flying through a cloud. You cannot see a damn thing. Nothing shows up on radar, nothing shows up on the HUD, it's just cloud and rain. But this little beauty right here is the SBD-3 dive bomber, also known as the Dauntless. It is probably another one of the more iconic aircraft of World War II, and I'm going to show you exactly how it gets its reputation as arguably the world's best dive bomber. This variant that I'm flying right now, I believe, I'm not sure of the weight, but it has 2 small bombs, 1 big bomb, and I'm playing around. Ooh, I almost killed my pilots there. I'm playing around right now to see exactly how much damage it will take to take out a pillbox for future games. So I just dropped 1 bomb, seeing if that'll be enough to take it out. Nope, I did a good bit of damage to it, but I didn't take it out. So I'll circle back around and try again. The Douglas SBD Dauntless was the World War II American naval scout plane and dive bomber. It was manufactured by Douglas Armament from 1940 through 1944. Let's try a second bomb. Hit it square on, but didn't take it out. Alright. Gonna have to break out the big guns here. It was the U.S. Navy's main carrier-borne scout plane and dive bomber from mid-1940 through mid-1944. The SBD was also flown by the Marine Corps from both land and air bases. Now, this bomb doesn't take out that son of a bitch. There we go. That concussive force was friggin' massive. Yeah, the Marine Corps flew them from land and air bases as well as aircraft carriers. The SBD is also best remembered as the bomber that delivered the fatal blows to the Japanese carriers in the Battle of Midway in June of 1942. During its service, it performed its role as a naval scout plane with distinction, and it was that's also where it earned its reputation as the world's best scout bomber, and I'm just hoping against hope that its 4 machine guns would be able to do damage against that thing, but unfortunately not. It possessed excellent long-range capabilities, great handling characteristics, it was pretty good maneuverability-wise, and it could carry a decent amount of bombs for a little dive bomber. It had great diving characteristics, excellent defensive armament, and overall it was extremely rugged aircraft. In most of these characteristics, the SBD was superior to both of the Axis powers' main fixed gear dive bombers, the German Stukas and the Japanese Val. So as you can see in the final closing moments of this game, I'm just hoping to try and kill this pillbox before the enemy scores a ground kill, but unfortunately, too little too late. That pillbox is annihilated, but I was just a second behind on the trigger. Well, that just about wraps it up for this week's episode of Weekly War Thunder. As always, I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Give it a like down below if you liked it. If you got a comment or question, leave that down there as well. In the description section, you'll be able to find my Steam tag, Facebook information, all that stuff. Hit me up. I'd love to sit down and play a game with somebody someday. And that will just about do it. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.